Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elseworlds Exchange. I am Sal, and I'm joined today by Jason Inman. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you. And I love coming back to the ComicPop universe. I love being able to wax off my camera frame every time I do. But
Yes.
I'm gonna completely turn the show right at the beginning. I know everybody is screaming at us to talk about James Gunn and his silver Foxian beard, but we're gonna wait on this because Sal, it's gonna require a little bit of technical know-how from you. There is a comment at the very beginning of our comment streams. Nick Prado, and I want you to share this comment on screen because it says,
All right.
"Can't wait to see Sal's handsome face," and that's what I say every time I do this show.
That's it's uncanny because that's how I feel whenever I have Jason on the show as well. You are an inspiration, my friend, and thank you, Nick Prado, for your kindness. This is rare because we actually have a couple of good-looking boys on the show now. No, man, I'm so thankful to have you on the show today, man.
Oh man,
forever. I remember finding your channel years ago. I saw your. Did you know there were 5 Robins? I bet you didn't. And I was like, this guy is so funny. And then I watched so much of your stuff. I watched the
thank you.
It
is the 10-year anniversary of Shit Comic Book Nerds Say. Is that going to get you YouTube flagged? I'm sorry.
No, you'll be fine.
Okay, so I should Comic Book Nerds. Yeah, it's the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. Holy crap! 10 years. Does it feel like 10 years? Because it doesn't to me.
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no.
Right? It's incredible time.
Yep. It might feel 10 years, I don't know. The more we talk about this DC slate, it might start feeling like 10 years.
It's funny. It occurred to me how old I'll be when it's done. And I was like,
yes,
I suddenly don't care.
I know.
It went from being like, oh boy, to being like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, when Marvel or DC is suddenly like, and this film will come out in 2029. I'm like, oh boy.
That's when the Terminator is supposed to be coming. That's supposed to be in the far distant future, and it's coming now. Oh no. Of course, this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can keep the riffraff out of the show and allow us to just read your comments here on the show. But before we do that, we got to tell you about an incredible Kickstarter that is out there right now that Jason Inman is spearheading. This is the finale of Super Best Friend, his series that has been going. How long has Super Best Friend been going?
Well, I launched a Kickstarter on 2021. But wow. I've technically been working on it since late 2019. That's when I first came up with the idea. I wrote the whole series document. And then, in 2021, it was this issue 1, 48 pages, issue 1. In 2022, it was issue 2. And now we're doing issue 3. And for the grand finale, all 3 issues are available. I was lucky enough to get a quote from the great author Alex Segura, DC Comics writer Alex Segura.
Yes.
And he described it as, it's a book filled with Shazam-like wonder, bright superheroics, and memorable characters. And that's exactly right, man. This is, it is the story of a sidekick who live streams his best friend, who's the world's greatest superhero. And during one of his live streams, he accidentally broadcasts his secret identity. And you may think it is just simply a Superman copy. It's not. It's a really interesting examination of superhero fandom, the stuff that we're doing right here, that Sal does, that I used to do, and friendship. And 2 friends having to, basically, there's an interesting tagline that I came up with that it says, 2 friends have to save the world, but to do it, one of them's going to have to delete their YouTube channel. So that's basically, it's a fun friendship. It's a story that's been inspired by my career at DC. My superhero fandom for years. I have a lot of fun with it. We have a great cover. Speaking of fun, I pulled a variant cover from somebody that I've admired for years, Phil Hester, who's drawing Gotham City Year One. It's brilliant. It's on the campaign. And then we do fun little art drops. There's add-on drops where if you become a backer over at superbestfriendcomic.com. Last week, we had an original Captain Terrific sketch by Jim Chung, Young Avengers. This week, we got Dan Jurgens, who also did a variant cover for Super Best Friend, and that's available on the campaign. But dropping this Friday is this one-of-a-kind Captain Terrific sketch on a comic board. It's on a comic board, and there's only one of these available, and only one person's going to get it. So you have to be a backer of the campaign, and we'll announce when it goes live.
You really have like gotten this whole Kickstarter thing down to a science, man. When it comes to rewards, when it comes to explanation of what the project is, what you get out of it, like this thing is a well-oiled machine by this point.
I hope so. I fake it very well.
Well, and because of course you know what the audience wants. You're like, all right, this is an original idea, which it doesn't say Spider-Man and Batman. It's kind of a tough sell already, but since you know who the person is, you know the personality, and you know that it's coming from a labor of love, it's coming from a person who knows the world that you come from, ladies and gentlemen, you know that he's given you something that you're looking for. And some of that involves original art, some of that involves variant covers, and a damn fine story as well. So if you haven't already, check it out. It's in the comments after the show goes live, and for you live viewers right now, it is in the chat pinned at the top. So click it out, whatever that expression means. And,
click it out.
Click it out. That's my new tagline. Click it out.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, click it out. I was very excited. There was a comic book letterer who advertised on Twitter that they were making a line of t-shirts that were just like lettering that he has done in the past. So it's like there's a great big snicked shirt. There was one that was like a thought bubble that said and
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, and I have to have these. And I bought 2 or 3 of them. One of them for my wife Tiffany, who sported the shirt on the last episode of Back Issues, which was Batman the Max, so it was incredibly appropriate and perfect. And she definitely makes that face.
Fun fact, I had the McFarlane Max action figure before I even knew what the Max was because I thought he just looked so cool.
He does look cool. I have 2 of those Max figures, one in the box and one that I played with when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. Because it comes with the little like smiley thingies, and they can bend. Yeah.
The ears, yes. It comes with the ears, comes with a headdress, and that's it. And it's great. I got the boxed one from like a garage, just some garage sale. They're like, I don't know, 50 cents. I'm like, gotta have it. Are you kidding me? So, but yeah, we're talking about the DC slate. We're talking about James Gunn's announcement. Jason, when you heard it, obviously you must have done backflips because of how transcendent and incredible this this reveal was. What was your first thought when you were like, "Oh, this is what's happening"? Because I have a theory about the overwhelming majority of people's reaction to the DC slate, the DC Studios slate.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious about your theory. So full transparency, when they revealed this, they did it on Monday. Yeah. To a bunch of press people, and they basically told them that they could not release it until like 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time the next day.
Yes.
I knew somebody in that meeting, and I will tell you that person texted me everything that was said at that meeting Monday night.
Nice.
So I got to know a little bit ahead of the world.
Not too much ahead, but still
not
enough.
Too much. Yeah, and there were like details that they left out that and stuff like that. They basically like told me the characters in the movies and stuff like that. I think it's a good start. I think if it works, it'll be great.
Right.
I also think it's a little predictable.
Interesting, predictable, because a lot of people I think were like, this is kind of all over the place, like a shotgun blast.
Oh, I guess for me, we're doing another Superman and Batman.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
we're
are like,
still trying to get Green Lantern off the ground here.
Yeah,
know,
like maybe 2 of them this time.
Yeah, like there. I agree with you. There is some exciting stuff in there, and that's why I went crazy on Twitter about the Creature Commandos because
sure,
it's one of the things that I think I've even said it on this show in my many appearances. DC has such a deep bench of characters. They have a deeper bench of characters than Marvel does. And that is where DC for years should have been mining instead of just giving us more Batman movies.
Right.
And the Creature Commandos, even though it's animated, to me, I'm like, yes, that is a great like pull. And DC has so many characters like that where it's almost like if you were to put that movie out and kind of like A History of Violence, that's a DC movie. Yes. Road to Perdition, DC movie. I know. You could put Creature Commandos out, and I don't think most people would be like, "That's a DC comic book."
Nope. It was like I remember when Constantine dropped the Keanu Reeves film, and the DC or Vertigo logo came up, and people went, "What?" Like people were surprised by every DC release.
Where's our Constantine 2, James Gunn? Where's that at? I want that movie.
They said they're making it. Like that was actually a thing. Keanu Reeves himself was like, "We're making Constantine 2," and I'm like, "Yeah, right."
But no, I guess like, look, it all sounds great to me. But I did think I was like, yeah, we are going to the greatest hits here. But yeah, it's about half greatest hits and it's about half like really interesting stuff, I think. Yeah. What's your theory about everybody's reaction?
I think it was an overwhelming, like, okay. Like everyone went, oh, okay. Like nobody was like, whoa, but nobody, and the people who were like, oh, this sucks, were going to say it no matter what they said.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And, but the okay is just kind of like I think we might be past the point of like billion-dollar conglomerates announcing they're going to try and take our money from us. Like, I think Marvel just used it up, and DC screwed up too many times for anyone to be really excited about anything. It's a combination of things, right? Because it's like, it's Warner Brothers and whatever company owns them today announcing that they're going to make a whole bunch of things that may or may not ever happen. And that's not terribly exciting.
Yes, it's so interesting because, like, the biggest takeaway, there's two big takeaways, I think, from Tuesday's announcement.
Yeah.
Is that one is James Gunn is a master of publicity.
Yes.
This announcement, again, we're not going to see any of these movies until 2025. Right. If we see them at all.
If any of them ever come out.
If we see them at all. Yeah. And that's a very big if. But by doing these announcements, kind of like Marvel style, like Kevin Feige, it's a really good way to up his stakes in the eyes of the Warner Brothers or whoever owns Warner Brothers now, or who will own Warner Brothers next year's eyes. Right. It makes him seem more value. Smart man, smart move, genius. Yeah. The other part of it is that I do like what he said that he was like. He's like, we're going to put the writer first. That is something, as a writer myself, very exciting. I hope he holds true to it. But, like, I agree with you. And I kind of think that is everybody's reaction, too. That everybody's was kind of like, cool. Like, because my second reaction, my second reaction to this, to a bunch of people asking me on Twitter was, well, I'll be excited when I see a trailer.
Yeah, right.
When I see a trailer. Because, like, when you think about it, it's interesting, Sal. Like, we have basically been, this is the fourth DC slate since 2010.
Yeah.
Because when everybody forgets about this one, when Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern came out, they did the whole publicity tour being like, this is the launch of the DC universe on film. Right? This is the launch. Superman was going to be in that film originally. If you read the original draft of the script, Superman's in that movie.
Yes, that's right.
And then Snyder comes along. That's the second one. That one got the furthest and then kind of died on the vine. And then, here's the interesting thing. They made a whole new slate with, like, Black Adam and Flashpoint and Aquaman 2 and Blue Beetle. And then they killed it before we got to see any of the movies.
That's right, yeah. I assume Batgirl was on that list as well because it's a finished product. Remember when Angela Bassett was going to be Amanda Waller and she was going to be the Nick Fury that tied everything together? Like,
also, remember this Supergirl movie that's connected to Flashpoint that was announced, too? That's never going to happen now? And so now we're on the fourth one. So I agree with you. I think us as an audience are kind of like, yeah, we'll believe you when we actually see the movie come out.
And what's funny is they've also given us so many things that may or may not even exist that they haven't shown us that if they had just come out already would have their own fandoms and their own things, like the George Miller Justice League movie or the Batgirl movie or God, I'm trying to remember. I'm blanking on the other one. There was like another
there was a J.J. Abrams Justice League Dark that was in development forever.
Right?
It might still be in development, as far as I've heard.
I mean, I remember when Guillermo del Toro was somehow involved with Justice League Dark.
Yes, yeah.
There's any number of individual projects that could. The Suicide Squad Ayer cut.
Yes.
Like there's any number of things that just are sitting around, and DC went, well, and it's not. Like if I were in charge of DC, and I don't want to turn this into that kind of thing, but no, because that is we should just say this right now. Yeah. James Gunn and Peter Safran's job is an impossible job. No matter what. Yep. Yeah. Very thankless. No matter what they do, half the people are going to hate it. Yep.
And the other people are going to love it. And exactly. and that's all they can do.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like if I were in charge of the DC slate or DC studios, you'd know what I'm excited about. Like you would know immediately from knowing me, and the audience would learn very quickly what I'm hyped for and what the slate would probably look like.
Yeah.
And with this, no one has any concept of what this is supposed to be. Like James Gunn's fingerprint is on this current slate in a way that there had not been previous like identities to those slates. So at the very least, you're kind of like, oh, I see you're kind of, because Creature Commandos, Gunn read that book. Like, he's a DeMatteis fan. Gunn liked The Authority. Like, Gunn's a Booster Gold fan. Oh, I get it. Okay. Like, okay, he's involved. And it's very much a James Gunn rollout, because I assume they just went Batman, Superman, and then they went like, and 3 slots of whatever your Guardians of the Galaxy nonsense does.
Yeah.
You pick your 3 Guardians of the Galaxy things. Right?
It's interesting because as well, like, we have to also keep in context that they were both hired November 1st.
Yeah. That was
they have been on the job 3 months.
Yeah.
So, I also think as well that it might be a hair premature that they're like, here's the slate. Also, it'll be so interesting to react, because I have no doubt in my mind, because Marvel has done this, and DC has done this previously when they announced that giant. Remember, there was that graphic that went around for a while when Justice League came out, that it was like, oh, the Cyborg movie is going to happen in 2019, the Flash movie is going to happen here, and here's Justice League Gods and Monsters, which was a title that they had. This slate is not going to come out the way they announced it, because production's going to get in the way, schedule's going to get in the ways. They might see a cut of Creature Commandos and be like, ooh, we don't like this one, hold it back.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I mean, well, they could be making. I mean, when they're working on Paradise Lost, they could be like, this is going to take another year. They could be making Authority and get really excited about what it is and go push that before Green Lanterns. But let's give the list.
Let's do it.
The list.
Dive in.
First one up: Creature Commandos, the animated HBO Max TV series, which is an animated project. Sure. I'm in. Again, I'm excited. I hope DeMatteis is getting a check. I sincerely doubt it, but I hope he does.
He'll get probably like a check for like $5,000, which is not. We should be paid $1 million for that. I'll say this right now: the best DC thing out there right now is HBO Max's Harley Quinn.
Right.
But Patrick Schumacher and Justin Halbert, fantastic. So if Creature Commandos can tap into anything of that, it's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah, I mean, the best part is that no one has any expectations for it because nobody read it.
Yeah,
by and large.
Which it makes it like a perfect Guardians of the Galaxy analog, if you want to,
exactly.
like they can do whatever they want, and the expectations are nothing.
Yeah, and I understand that they're going to be invincibling it, and when I say that, I mean they're gonna cast people who could theoretically play the Creature Commandos in live action.
Yes, and it'll be interesting too. And I would love to hear your idea on this. Some live action person, a Superman, a Batman, or somebody will be in that cartoon, and that will be their introduction. Who do you think it'll be?
With Creature Commandos, because here's the thing: isn't it like set in the past? Like, isn't it like a World War II kind of thing?
I don't know. Is it?
I've seen, because there's a lot of like weird. I think it originally came out of a book that was called like World War II Monsters or something like that.
Well, I know it's sort of tied into the whole DC War comics. It's sort of like part of that. It's part of like the how. Yes. Well, that was the thing. That was the other thing that really excited me about this, because I'm a huge Sergeant Rock fan, and I kind of was like, oh, is this how we're going to get Sergeant Rock or some of these war characters in the DC universe finally?
Yeah, I think Rock's in this show.
I hope so.
That'll be a smart way to put him in there. If I were doing Creature Commandos, I'd use that as an opportunity to, if you're going to set it in the past, because it's DC's weird. That's what they called it. Weird war tales. That's war
tales. Oh, I love that they had like our army at war, and yeah, man, that's talk about deep bench of DC characters that you can pull from.
Right. I would love to see that. But if you're going to do that, then I guess you should introduce the JSA.
Ooh, interesting.
Like maybe, and obviously, the most iconic image among them is probably Dr. Fate, and they've already, kind of familiarized the audience with him thanks to the Black Adam movie. That'd be my pick. But again, Dr. Fate also magic, so it's like, oh, these monsters.
Well, I guess, and like, again, one thing you can kind of tell, and that's a smart move, is that James Gunn is sort of emulating Marvel. And that's totally fine. Like, they are the big game in town. Why not? Why not? And so to me, I'm like, okay, what does Marvel do? They do these cameo things. So I'm like, okay, is Creature Commandos, again, bad pitch, I'm not saying this is true, but like, is Creature Commandos where we're going to meet the new Superman for the first time?
It could be.
Or some character that will be in the Amanda Waller series that we've never seen before will pop up in Creature Commandos.
I have no doubt
as I punch my mic.
In every single one of them. I do that all the time. This mic thing is...
Yeah. I like your mic, actually. It's really cool.
Thank you. My wife picked it out. She did a lot of work. She was like, we need to get a switchboard. We need to have 2 mics. Like, we need to upgrade the apparatus. And I'm like, all right.
I'm going to lower my mic because I see some comments where people think I'm loud, and I think it's just because I'm a shouty guy and you're a quiet guy. So.
No, I am normally shouty. I think it's because of my setup that I sound...
I lowered my mic, crowd. I hope it's okay.
So yeah, Creature Commandos is a thing. Waller is coming next. It's a live-action HBO Max show, which is essentially just a spin-off of Peacemaker. As I understand, it's supposed to take place between Peacemaker seasons. Like, it's after Peacemaker 1.
So here's the real question is, I thought Peacemaker was great.
Yeah.
I actually think it might be the best thing James Gunn has ever done.
That's fair.
Because I just think James Gunn's sensibilities really lean towards, and I am this thing, so I can say this thing, redneck. I think he really, that's why I think he really tapped into Peacemaker, and that's why I think he was a better fit on Peacemaker than he ever was on Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, I don't know if he's got the sci-fi feel for me. But it's interesting. I don't know if we're ever going to see Peacemaker season 2 now.
It's not on this list.
Yeah.
But I thought they were shooting it. Like, I thought that was something that's already being made.
But... Oh, I don't know. Maybe if so, the thing that I saw, like, because there's all these extra interviews that like Variety and Hollywood Reporter did, where they apparently the reporters asked him questions, and in one of the questions he said that Peacemaker season 2 is on hold indefinitely because he was like, I want to make it, and he's like, I don't have the time right now.
I see. Yeah, then it's probably dead.
So like, if we go 5 years. I mean, at that point, I don't think HBO Max is going to want a season 2.
I don't think HBO Max is going to exist in 5 years.
That's true. That's true. I mean, and I would like a season 2 of that show.
Oh yeah, I love that show.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. Like it's and it embraces the streaming section. Like, you know, I would not want to watch Peacemaker if it was on FX or something. Like, you know, streaming thing.
Yeah,
allows it to be itself.
No, Waller's great because like it is, again, and this is the interesting thing, right? Where it's like it's just like the New 52, right? Yeah. Some of the storylines are going to continue.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't. And if they're smart, if James Gunn and Peter Safran are smart, and I do believe they are smart gentlemen, they'll do just like Dan DiDio and Jim Lee. And when fans ask them, well, what about this continuity? What continuity? And they'll just be like, whatever you want it to be. And they'll never explain it.
I think they're actually a little better about that because they have the label, because of the explanation of because of their co-opting of the Elseworlds label and being like, anything that's not in continuity is called Elseworlds. I'm like, thank you.
Yep.
And that's smart. Good call.
Yep. You know, I think I've said that for years, and I might have said this on the last time, where I've always thought about that, like, DC Universe, they should just have like a little like, this is Earth 1, this is Earth 2. And it's like if you see Earth 1, it's like, oh, okay, that's everything in the main DCU. Earth 1 is boom, boom, boom. But I agree with you, and I hope they make a little Elseworlds logo that appears before the film.
I think they're going to. I think they have to.
Yep.
And, by the way, also a Marvel idea, because they used to do that for like a hot second when they thought they were not going to get owned by Disney. When they were like, oh, well, when we make R-rated movies, those will have the Marvel Knights logo.
Interesting.
Punisher Warzone had it, and the Ghost Rider movies had it. And,
interesting. I completely forgot about that.
But something that I was like, I loved that idea, so it's always
and I know you're like this with me, man. As a big fan of Elseworlds, it's just like I love how like in the '90s everybody was like Elseworlds is awesome, and then we went through this like period in the 2000s where everybody was like Elseworlds is lame, and now we've come back to Elseworlds is awesome.
It's still awesome, but we don't use it anymore. We just do everything except label it.
Now it's just Black Label.
Yeah, which means nothing.
It's fine.
Like that's Black Label.
It just means the book is going to be a little bit more expensive. That's what Black Label means.
That's right. It's $1 more. Congratulations. The next movie we're getting is The Big Deal, and I'm excited for it because I've been excited for a Superman movie for a while, and that's Superman Legacy. Everyone is extrapolating everything they can from the title. I watched the James Gunn announcement as everyone else did, and yet There's nothing about it that says Jonathan Kent, but everybody was like, well, obviously Jonathan Kent will be in this. And I'm like,
I don't think so.
Not.
I don't think so.
No.
He has said that he's going to cast a 25-year-old person as Superman.
Yeah.
But he's also said that this is like, he said that it's like a year 2, year 3 Superman. He's like Superman's been around.
Yeah.
But young. He's casting a younger guy as Superman. The other thing I've seen is everybody, because of that one tweet where James Gunn said that he was reading All-Star Superman, which in my opinion is the greatest Superman story ever written. But everybody thinks this is going to be All-Star Superman, and I'm like, I don't think you're going to make All-Star Superman with a young Superman.
That's not what that is. Like,
no, it's
Superman is the last Superman story.
It's the final Superman. It's basically the death of Superman just dressed up.
It would be like if they said, "Oh, we're gonna cast a 27-year-old Batman, and the first book we're gonna do is Dark Knight Returns." Mm-hmm. Like, how are you?
You know, that circle? I'm gonna throw out a weird. This is off the top of my dome. Mm-hmm. I think the legacy that he is talking about is Supergirl, because we have a Supergirl movie coming.
Yes,
and he has said in all the interviews that he's like, this is a movie where it's a young Superman grappling with, am I human or am I Kryptonian? Yeah. And if Supergirl shows up and is like, Krypton was a badass place, man. We had crystals everywhere. Marlon Brando was there, flying robots. And I don't know who the villain would be. For me, it would be Brainiac. Would be like the best choice. Man, I've been wanting him to show up on screen forever. Like he's Brainiac's like little symbol popping up in Man of Steel is like still my favorite Easter egg of all time. Where I'm like, oh man, that's what number 2. Oh, and then we wanted to punch Batman a lot, so we did that. But yeah, I wonder if it's gonna be Supergirl. Yeah, like I wonder if that's what the legacy is.
That would be great if you opened the movie or like after the opening crawl, like. You do that sequence of like, you know, the iconic cover of like the rocket ship and she pops out and it's like, what? Like, and basically it's like an adaptation of that Jeff Loeb book where Supergirl, it's the post-crisis Supergirl origin where it's like, I got to train this girl and she's angry. You know, she came from this place and she's had this miserable time. Maybe we don't even get inklings about what it is. And then it's like, that's what Supergirl will be tomorrow.
I think you've knocked on it too, because remember what I mentioned before, like he's going the Marvel method, right? We're going to have cameos. Yes. We know we have a Batman movie coming down the pike. Here's the movie where Batman jumps in for a scene.
Right. He calls Batman or Batman shows up first to catch her.
Yep.
And Superman's like, thanks a lot. And then you never see him. And you see him.
And then it's one scene, he's gone. Yep.
That'd be enough for me. I'd be okay with that, especially if you had your Batman locked in and and it's a good way to establish like their relationship, who that character is, what that world looks like.
I know. So again, I would love to have a Jonathan Kent Superman movie. I think it would be amazing. That Superman Rebirth run is one of my favorite storylines of all time.
Easily.
But I think it's the age of Superman that dismisses that. Like you could do John Kent with a 25-year-old, but it'd be a little awkward.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, okay, so Superman had this guy when he was 16?
Right. No, you have to have like a history. Like I don't even think he's going to be like with Lois yet, you know, so it's like you gotta do something. You know, you gotta build up to that. You can't just You know,
if they had kept Henry Cavill.
Oh, sure.
Then I would have been like, oh, they're definitely doing Jonathan Kent.
Yeah. Gotta.
Yeah.
But Superman Legacy, I mean, I know that James Gunn loves Superman despite Brightburn, and because he wrote Brightburn. And...
Can I pose another question to you?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Do you want him to direct it? Because
no.
I agree with you. He's definitely going to direct it, though.
Oh yeah.
He's one because look at it. Would any of us, given the opportunity, if we had the choice to have the chance to direct Superman, we'd all say yes.
Yeah, I'd be terrible at it, but we do it.
Yep. Everybody would. It's like being asked to direct a Star Wars or a Star Trek movie. You don't say no to that.
No. Yeah, I'm done. I'm in.
Because this might lead into your next thing, or I might be getting ahead. There is one of these projects that I think James Gunn should direct. That I think he would be perfect to direct.
Oh, sure.
That's The Authority.
Yeah, he'd be great at The Authority.
I think he would knock The Authority out of the park.
Yeah. I have a thought about The Authority.
Go ahead.
But it would be too on the nose. But I can't believe they're even making an Authority movie.
I'm surprised. But I'll tell you what, that's an announcement that surprises me because I'm like, oh, okay. So what my feeling is that they're like, okay, we are going to show you a Justice League team, Justice League type team, but we're going to show you a Justice League team that's like basically the bad guys.
Exactly.
So that when we actually introduce our Justice League, you will be more primed to accept them. And also, this is why James Gunn's a smart man, wipe the palette clean of the previous Justice League shenanigans.
Exactly. I mean, I can imagine them being like, well, if we have one more movie out of this guy, why don't we get Zack Snyder to make The Authority?
Oh, interesting. You know, there have been some discussions. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I think he.
I don't think he would do it. I don't think he would do it.
Oh no, he would not do it. But Zack Snyder, you know, he thinks that superheroes are gods and that they're better than us, and like, he unironically likes Mark Miller, so I think he would really knock The Authority out of the park because it would be so.
I like Mark Miller too, but I also
like Mark Miller, but not for the Mark. You know, like I don't like.
But I also realized you have to have a giant 2-liter of Coke and a giant bag of popcorn to read Mark Miller.
You have to. You can't just like.
It's just like the Fast and the Furious movies.
Exactly. But no, James Gunn would do a Dynamite Authority movie, and his Authority would be cool because I'd love to see James Gunn's Midnighter. And
Can I introduce another thing into this?
Yeah,
there's been a lot of conversations that they have had meetings. They've had talkies. They've had talkies with Ben Affleck to direct a movie, and apparently Ben Affleck is a huge comic book nerd. And which is the reason why he almost directed his Batman movie.
Right.
So I think Ben Affleck will direct. I don't know if he'll direct in this batch, but let's throw that thought experiment in, or open it up to the entire DC. What would you want to see Ben Affleck direct based on his like film directing kind of career?
Yeah, right. I mean, you're thinking about like The Town and Argo and like Good Will Hunting. You're thinking about
he made that weird gangster movie. I can't remember that came out right before the pandemic.
Yeah, the one that he's really upset about. Yeah, because no one wanted to talk to him about it.
I was the only one that saw it. I was in an empty theater when I went and saw it.
I feel like it's got to be urban. You know, it's got to be like in a city. It's got to be.
It's got to be a crime.
It's got to be crime. Got to be regular people. You know, and
you know what I think he would do really. I think he would, and part of this is because it was steeped in his previous movie. I think he would do a really good job at a Deathstroke movie.
Oh yeah,
make it about Deathstroke just hunting down somebody. I think he would do a really good job.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm trying to think of like who the best like street level DC heroes or teams are, and it's like there aren't a lot of them.
He'd make an interesting Question movie.
A Question movie would be great.
Or a Question television show. Question's probably better as a television show.
Question would be great. Batwoman would be great.
Yeah.
You know, but it's kind of like too close to the I mean, Red Hood obviously would be cool, but like and there might be room for Red Hood. Yeah,
that's the most obvious choice. Everybody's like, yeah, we'll have him direct Brave and the Bold, and I'm like, I don't think we want to send Ben Affleck back into rehab.
I think that's right.
Let's remove him from Batman.
Exactly. That's fair. Green Arrow, maybe. Like, you know, remember
interesting.
Remember that script that was rolling around about Green Arrow? I think it was.
I have read it.
You've read it?
I have read it. I've read it. You can find it if you look hard enough. It's David Goyer wrote it. Lex Luthor is like one of the criminals. It's actually, I wish they would have made it. I think it would have been a fun movie.
Yeah, it would have put Green Arrow on the map in a way that no other attempt has ever been.
Yeah.
Lanterns, the live-action HBO show that they're calling like True Detective, terrestrial-based. Now, do they mean it's going to be on Earth, or do they mean it's going to be on a planet?
That's a good call. I assumed Earth, but you're probably right. I mean, the biggest thing you have to realize in television production is that you have to have a standing set. You have to have. So think about it. It's the Enterprise bridge. It's the police office of any Law and Order. You need one set that you can always return to. Now, I know people are being like, well, what about The Mandalorian and stuff like that? Well, Disney like blows money at everything. This is not Disney. Warner Brothers is like bleeding, guys. So like,
exactly. They got to save it.
So, you know, I assume they sent terrestrial so that they could film some stuff outside on
like
Earth.
Arizona.
Yes. Exactly. And people would not freak out.
Fair. Yeah. Absolutely. That's fair. And I think they're also like, I mean, we gave you the Jeff Johns, like high flying, you know, Oa-based Green Lantern movie, and people thought it sucked. So
I do think it's a smart call to do John and Hal.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good call.
It's also cheaper You know, as opposed to because Hal wasn't the only Green Lantern in that movie. You know, he's playing against Tomorrow and
well, it's also a thing. It's also a thing that makes Green Lanterns unique is that they partner up, that they're a core. You know, and I think that's a really clever way to show it as well. I mean, I'm excited about it, but again, we just spent the last 5 years telling us that there was a Green Lantern show coming to HBO Max, and then that never happened. So I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, and this is also, as I understand it, I remember reading someplace they were like, we threw out everything that was that show. So this is a different Green Lantern show.
Oh yeah, they've basically because it's so funny. Ashley and I were talking about my wife Ashley and I. We're like way behind on Doom Patrol. So we just got to like the Dead Boy Detectives episode, literally last night, and we said to ourselves, we were like, weren't they making a spinoff show of this one? I'm pretty certain they announced it. And I was like, oh, that show's dead.
Oh yeah, no, that's not happening. I mean, Doom Patrol's dead. Like it's all.
Oh yeah,
it's all done.
I can't, dude. We forget that thing started on an app that doesn't exist anymore.
I love remembering DC Universe because I can't.
Didn't they fly you out to LA?
Flew me out to Berlin to do the timeshare pitch for DC Universe. It was great because we were out there. They just bought Machinima and they dolled it up to be all DC. They rolled out all their Batmobiles and all their Superman costumes. Yeah, and they were like, "Look at all the things we pulled out of storage, and you can look at them." And then they were like, "Now sit down in this room for like 45 minutes while we tell you to watch Swamp Thing." And how we overspent on that show and bankrupted ourselves, and it was fun. It was a fun day. It was a dope day. And then there was actually I guess no one who works there did that anymore.
No, like, they're gone.
Nobody there.
They're gone. Here's the thing, and I've said this on several places. I've said this on several podcasts, and I don't. Who cares? Right. I think the building that I worked at DC, they don't even work there anymore. They're in a brand new building. They got rid of that building. Right. And I think I used to know like 200 people that worked at DC Comics. I think now I only know like 4.
That's,
yeah.
I don't know anybody. You were the guy I knew who worked at DC.
Yeah.
No. I remember doing that. That was a lot of fun. But like when you got your lanyard, they had different superhero logos on them. And then a little later in the day, you found out that the logos meant something because if you had a special logo, they put you in a car and they sent you to the Suicide Squad set so you could watch them shoot a scene for the Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, did you get one of those?
Fuck no. That was a little above my
Did you see the Ayer cut?
Yeah, right. I saw a scene. I wasn't even close. They brought people to Warner Brothers Studios to look at it. They brought them to DC Comics, and I was like, I'd like to go to the comic building. Can we go? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay.
When they were shooting that movie, because they shot that movie on the Paramount lot here in LA, and I have a friend that works at Paramount, and at the time he was he's a huge Harley Quinn fan, and he said that he didn't know that they were filming that movie there. And he was like, one of his fondest memories was there was like one day he was like walking to the commissary and he's walking past a trailer and out came Margot Robbie in full Harley Quinn. And he was like, we curtly nodded to each other. And he was like, I like that I got to nod at Harley Quinn. He's like, that's enough for me. He's like, I didn't bother. He's like, I just gave her a polite,
Dope. Yeah, I would not be able to contain I've done that before, but it's like it's very rare, and I don't know. Depending on what like level they're at, I don't know if Harley Quinn had come up to me, I would be able to contain myself and just go like, madam.
Yeah.
That did happen with James Hong.
Doctor.
Yeah. James Hong and I one time walked past each other, and he was
out. Oh, cool.
He was so done, and he just my wife and I were walking by, and he saw us. He saw that I recognized him, and I just went. And he gave me such he was one of those like, thank you for not.
Yeah, bothering
me. He's literally 2 steps away from the hotel. He's like, that's, yes, it's me. Goodbye.
Yeah. He's in his 90s now, I think.
Yeah. He's got that Lopan DNA. But
everybody, I hope everybody saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, the best superhero movie of last year.
Right? The best multiverse movie made that year.
Oh, by far. By a million miles.
So the next movie up is Paradise Lost, a movie that I would HBO Max show that I would cancel immediately.
I agree with you.
right?
I agree with you.
I assume this is something they've been working on forever, but it's in the
Yep.
Wonder Woman universe. So I'm like, so is it an Elseworlds movie? Because if so, why are you wasting your money on it?
Yeah, the minute they said it's a Game of Thrones origin story, I was like, oh my Lord. I was like,
boring.
why is the only thing that people can think of to do with Wonder Woman is to like make her sexy?
Yeah.
It just annoys, like, to me, the perfect analog to what a Wonder Woman movie should be. Well, we already got a great Wonder Woman movie. I love the first Wonder Woman movie.
It's solid. Yeah, that first one's great.
Yeah, I think it's solid. But there is already a great series out there that I think Wonder Woman should emulate. And it's God of War. It's the God of War video games.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought you were going to say Xena. I'm like,
oh, well, Xena's good too as well. But put Wonder Woman in any of those games, give her those storylines. That's the movie. That's the show.
Totally. That's the game. They need to
yes.
But God of War, solid. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't. But yeah, the minute they were like, also like, in Krypton, that old sci-fi show is much better than it has any rights to be. It's actually a pretty decent show.
Yeah.
But it was the same idea when they announced that, where I was like, why do we need to know the origin of the people that explode?
Yeah, I don't care. They're literally like, it's. I don't know what their obsession is with making these movies that are prequels to anything. Because
you didn't love Pennyworth, the story of Batman's butler?
Of Batman's butler. Yeah, why? I would never watch it. It was. It's. I don't care. I've heard things about it. I've heard that V for Vendetta's in it, and I'm like, I was like, nothing. Wild Horses couldn't drag me to watch this show. Like
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen a single frame of that show, and I don't care what anybody says. It could have, like it could give you $100 if you watch an episode. I would still never be able to watch it.
I'm willing to be proved wrong because again, Krypton was a really good show. Actually, but when they canceled Krypton, I was like, no, keep going. But yeah, Krypton was really great. But I don't know. I'm very skeptical on this one.
Yeah, this is also one of those things where it's like, oh, you want to save some freaking money? Mm-hmm. That one. Because no one's in it. It's about nothing. You have to the problem is you have to invent whole cloth story out of this. You got to come up with something, and I don't trust them to. So let's just get rid of it and move on.
I agree.
But Paradise Lost. Next one is using the wrong title, Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Which should be called Batman and Son. And maybe it will by the time this movie comes out. But I think that. But I've heard theories about this, and I love that there are theories about it because obviously they come from nothing, because they didn't tell you what because they only told you what is there. So anyone who has a theory about it it's just a theory. It's literally just made up. But that they called it Brave and the Bold because each Batman movie will be Batman with a different character.
And so the first one's supposed to be Robin.
Yeah, so the first one will be with Damian, and then the next one could be Green Arrow, it could be, whoever.
See, so it's interesting. So again, we talked about this a little bit earlier. This is an interesting choice. Yes. That story's great. Great adaptation. Great choice. I don't know about the Batman team-up things. It's funny, ever since Damian was introduced, I kind of always had it in my head where I was like, yeah, they're going to go right to Damian. Because it's the clearest concept to introduce to the audience that Robin is Batman's son. Because most people that don't read the comic books think Robin is Batman's sons anyway.
It's hard to imagine that, folks, but it's true. Like, people don't know. I mean, and they don't want to date it. And I can imagine them going like, okay, so Batman goes to the circus. A thing that we shouldn't even have anymore.
And then he finds this other kid, and then he finds this other kid, and then he finds this other kid, and then he finds his son.
Right. That's so. Yeah, it's complicated. It takes forever. We barely got through Dick Grayson in the movies that are nonsense anyway. No,
but here's the interesting thing about this. So Superman, they made Superman young.
Yeah,
this is an old Batman
again.
Yeah, we're doing old. Well, I mean, do we think? What age are they going to make this Batman? Because
for 35.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But anyways, this is a Batman that's been around the block.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think 35-year-old Bruce Wayne just put on the Batsuit.
No, and I think that's fine. Like, but I also. Oh man, do I not want an old Batman again? Like, we need a Batman who can actually be Batman for at least 3 movies. Can we?
Yeah, and this
do
is
that?
also the thing that this is going to introduce, and I don't think it's a bad idea, but this is going to introduce that thing that kind of, I think, tore the Snyderverse apart. The idea that, like, oh, no, Batman and all this other stuff was happening behind the scenes in Man of Steel. They just didn't care that Metropolis was literally being obliterated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Well, and also, like, they always shy away from this idea of the importance of Superman. They know he is important, but they don't get it. And it's just like Superman needs to be the first one. He needs to inspire.
Well, he's going to be the first movie, which is something that I do like about this slate announcement.
Yeah, no, I do like that. Like, that's great. I mean,
also,
how did that? Like, Man of Steel was the first one too.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Of that second slate,
right?
How pissed do we think Robert Pattinson was on Tuesday?
I don't know. The thing about that, right? The Batman and that whole franchise. I speculated about this and I was just dead wrong. But I'd heard that Matt Reeves had said, like, he was like, I have a meeting with James Gunn about his universe. Like, you know, this is back in December, like mid-December, January. He was like, I'm having a meeting with James Gunn about the universe and stuff like that. But, like, as far as we know, the next thing is like the Batman 2. And I'd hoped that they were going to do the thing I suggested, which is that, like, each DC movie should be directed by a person who is best suited for that character. Because all the DC comics are different, and yet they all
have different styles, different genres. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like the Batman could easily be in this universe, and it would be fine. And,
I think so too. I think Robert Pattinson could have been the Batman of this universe. Now, I don't think you could do Damian with that. You'd have to time jump it. Yeah. I think Robert Pattinson could play it, but you'd have to time jump it. But I don't
want that. Like, if you're gonna do that, don't put, like, make it Dick Grayson. Like, don't do Damian and introduce Robert Pattinson as the Batman of this universe. It's just a wasted opportunity, because I think that while I think the audience will get it. I think they're gonna be like, yeah, Batman's over there. This is a
I agree.
I think they're gonna go, but I kind of like this Batman better though.
Yeah,
I don't really care about the Batman too.
I think they're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah,
casting this older father Batman, because one, I think every actor are going to be like, wait a minute, so he's also Batman and I'm Batman and we're both in movies?
Yeah.
And then and also you also have the thing, because now it's the Marvel method, so we're signing actors for like 5 movies.
Right.
That's going to be I don't know. I think they're going to I have a feeling whoever is this new Batman is going to be probably a TV actor that we've seen in, like, supporting roles. I don't think it's going to be a name.
No, I think you're right. I think Superman and Batman will both be non.
Which is what I prefer. That's fine. But, like, I don't know. Like, I feel empathy for any actor, because that's going to be tough, because you're going to be like, well, wait, so am I DC's Batman or is he DC's Batman? Yeah, you can call him Elseworlds Batman all you want, but still, we're both DC Batmans.
Exactly.
At the same time.
Right? And if you do this Batman, like, if you're going to make DC's Batman, and it's in the DC universe, and it's going to be running up against the Pattinson Batman, you better make his suit blue. You better make him fight Man-Bat.
Especially if you're calling it the Brave and the Bold.
Right. He better be comic book Batman.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what the hell are you even doing?
Well, here's the other interesting thing you can extrapolate from this announcement.
Yeah.
That confirms to me 100% that the Batman 2 does not have Robin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Because they would not make 2 movies about Batman's getting Robins.
And confusing the shit out of people about, like, which Robin is which. It's like, no.
So to me, so I'm like, oh, Matt Reeves is going to do just like the Dark Knight trilogy. He's going to do a singular Batman doing his thing.
I think he might not even make 3. I think it's only 2. I think Matt Reeves
really?
is like, I only want to sign on. He's like, I only want to do 2 of them. I think he wants to, like, make a name for himself as that, and then just move on and make the next thing. I think he's just, I don't think he wants to play ball. Like, I think Matt Reeves is like, if he had wanted to make, like, 4 Batman movies in the Batman universe, it would have been in the universe. And he would
remember too, we were also going to get this, like, all these spinoffs from Matt Reeves. Now those are all dead.
Good. I don't want to see a Penguin
I agree.
show.
I agree.
I think Colin Farrell did an amazing job. I don't want to watch his show. I'm watching Batman for Batman. I'm not a Schumacher fan who, like, watches Batman movies for the villains.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Next one is Booster Gold, which bravo.
Finally.
Genius. Best time. The TikTok generation needs Booster Gold. A superhero with a phone in his hand, obsessed with himself, filming himself, making yes.
But I'm putting out a call to James Gunn right now.
Okay.
Because I know you watch Mr. Gunn.
That's right.
Putting a call out to you right now. You're a huge fan of ComicPop. I know you are because you have good taste.
That's right.
One, please hire me for Lanterns. I love the Green Lanterns. But second, forget that. All right. Second, when you're making this Booster Gold show, in the pilot, I want Booster Gold creator Dan Jurgens to be one of the security guards in the 25th Century Museum.
Yes, please. That's easy enough to do.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, you put I think John Ostrander is in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So put Dan Jurgens in the Booster Gold show.
Yeah, he puts the bombs in their neck. Yeah. So
make Dan Jurgens Booster's really angry mad boss.
I love it. Yes, please. Booster Gold live action HBO Max show. No notes.
Finally, no notes. Great.
Be great.
Yep.
Next one is a movie that I thought they were going to make it's funny because you usually expect these guys to throw fake outs, but so now I'm like, oh no, is All-Star Superman going to be the template? Because he also, James Gunn that is, tweeted a picture of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Yep.
And sure enough, there's a Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow movie coming out. This is one of those few perfect comic books. I'm happy to see that it's being sold out everywhere. It's a shame it wasn't when we did it on back issues, but whatever. You know what? We told you so. And hopefully it'll get a hardcover as a result. But Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is going to be a movie. I assume Tom King will write the script.
That's what I was going to say. I was I will be blown away if Tom's not doing the screenplay.
He wrote New Gods. He wants to be in Hollywood. He's a member of the Brain Trust for this group. He wrote this script. And he's my name, that script, nobody else. This is the movie. And that's
good for
fine.
him. Good for him. Congrats. That's amazing news. It's great.
Get that bag. This is a perfect comic book, and it's a great opportunity to do some crazy shit. And because it's a big space epic. It's got a lot of insane locations and stuff.
It's a way to do a Superman movie in sort of a Guardians of the Galaxy style, where everything looks strange and weird. This would be one where I was oh, they're going to film a lot on the volume, that thing that they used in The Mandalorian.
Yes.
Which is fine, go nuts with it. But it's also this is one of the comic books that last year everybody slept on.
Yeah, so, that's right. Yeah, and then apparently he's going to end this slate, the next phase 1 essentially will end.
He said that this was the first half of phase 1.
Oh my god!
Which is called Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters, which I guess so. I mean, and then of course you're wait, but Swamp Thing's the only monster. What other the Authority? Okay, but Swamp Thing's gonna be the next movie or the last movie of this 10 thing rollout. And I believe the idea is that it's 2 movies a year or something like that.
Yeah, I think he said 2 movies a year, 2 shows a year.
Yeah, which is aggressive and doable.
Oh, it's very doable, I think.
So let's see it. But Swamp Thing the movie.
And there was an announcement yesterday that James Mangold of Logan fame might be the person that's writing and directing Swamp Thing.
Okay.
Interesting. Good choice.
Great choice. I'm down.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do the anatomy lesson. I think they're going to do something non-Alan Moore related. Yeah,
I think there. If you look at James Mangold and what he did with the Wolverine and Logan, I think he's going to pick and choose. I think it's going to be a brand new original thing that's sort of a mixture that sort of feels like something. But I agree with you. I mean, if it was me, or this is what I would hope it would be.
Yeah.
I hope we get into some of the green, the red, the rot stuff.
I think it will. Yeah.
Because because that would be a great way to be able to be okay, so the next weird movie is going to be Animal Man. Yes. Or,
Oh, and Animal Man Animal Man fits perfectly in with this rollout.
Yeah.
I would not be the least bit surprised to see an Animal Man, a Doom Patrol movie.
Also, Swamp Thing could very easily connect to the Creature Commandos as well.
Yes. Oh, Swamp Thing will probably appear in the Creature Commandos.
You're probably right. Yeah.
And Constantine.
Yep, and Constantine 2. Where's Constantine 2?
Well, I could see that Swamp Thing also sets up the JLD. And, maybe Zatanna shows up, maybe Dead Man.
Yeah.
Lots of
there's not, besides Swamp Thing, there's not a magic-y person in here.
No,
which is interesting.
no. Although the Creature Commandos, I mean, they're mad.
Sort of, yeah,
I don't really know
yeah.
what you call it, but and Paradise Lost, it's like they're Amazons. It's not really magic. You're right. Swamp Thing is the closest thing to magic that we have in this. And
but
we know, yeah.
The good thing in this, I will say, the best thing about this slate is that the only things that are like pure superheroes are the Superman and the Batman movies.
Yes.
Everything else is like a different kind of genre. Yeah, even the Supergirl. Like the Supergirl, I think is going to be like a pure sci-fi.
Yeah, it's going to confuse the shit out of people because they're going to think they know what they're going to get in for unless they read the comic, and they're going to.
A bunch of people are going to know that '80s movie, and they're going to be like, "Where are the witches?"
Yes, it's painful. I think
that movie is terrible.
It's terrible.
It's so bad.
It's the worst.
Yep.
I love it because it's got a great like hook. It's just true grit. And so it's like really easy to it's a really easy through line. You're just like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like that's the lineup.
Should we drop into some of your super chats?
I think we should, because I think
Let's
that's going to
do it.
take us in some interesting directions. Here we go. Let me go all the way back to the top, because you guys are the sponsors for the show. Oh, geez, this is better than on YouTube though, because YouTube, you'll lose your it'll cap the chat. Mickey Beach says, I just hope Metropolis can feel like a character in Superman Legacy. So far every Superman movie has portrayed Metropolis as a discount New York. Even the bad Batman films made sure to make Gotham look unique and have flair. I mean, the original Chris Reeve Superman movies were New York.
Yeah.
Just was.
Yeah. That's just an art direction issue.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Good.
Yeah.
But I hope so. Dan V900 has a few, so we're going to go in a row for him. I really like the slate, except for one big disappointment, which is Damian. I'm expecting Tim to be pushed out aside. It doesn't make sense when THR reports Superman will be around 25, so no John. Dick and Damian have a far better dynamic than Bruce and Damian, too. A young Superman with a Batman already having Damian just bothers me. If we are somehow not getting John with Legacy in the title, the Authority was a huge surprise, and it feels like we are building to the JL versus Authority with the tagline Gods and Monsters, where the Authority to me works better in its own universe. But I am excited about that. I saw people say the Authority should be rated R, but greenlighting a rated R film that's almost $200 million when those flop like Terminator, Dark Fate, and Suicide Squad has bad business decision.
I bet Swamp Thing is rated R.
No doubt. Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind that that'll be rated R.
I think they're going to shoot it rated R, and then they'll cut it down to PG-13.
But I agree with you. I think the Authority probably won't be rated R. But I also agree with the fact that I think we probably will go towards the Justice League versus Authority, because I think they will make the Authority kind of like the Snyder Justice League.
I think so. I think you're right.
Then I think we'll have our squeaky clean Justice League, and then we'll have our analogs.
I don't know. I've heard this theory before, so I can't say it's mine.
Sure.
But I think they're going to be a stand-in for the Elite, and Superman will be the only one to fight the Authority.
Oh, I would be fine with that as well. I think that's fine.
And it'll be like what's so.
They're a more interesting version than doing the Elite anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, the Elite are just they're just made up stand-ins. Like who cares? But I think it's going to be like a adaptation of What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, the American Way. And it'll just be that.
I'm fine with that.
That's something that like everyone who doesn't like Man of Steel has been saying is the movie. It's Superman versus the Elite, that great adaptation of that comic book. Yeah,
the animated movie is pretty good. Yeah.
Jawiin Fincher says, I'm down for everything, even whatever the Authority is, but Damian, I'll take what I can get. I hear you, man. I
understand. I want Dick Grayson as Robin. Like I've been rewatching Batman 66, and I love every part of that show except for Dick Grayson, because
really,
oh man, dude, the way they do Dick Grayson dirty in that show, they make him a complete boob.
He is.
And that to me has set back Dick Grayson relations for the last. It's still to this day, and even Chris O'Donnell, who I actually liked. I thought he was a great casting choice. He did not get a great script, but he couldn't even lift it off. And then when we got to the Dark Knight trilogy, you could tell that even Christopher Nolan, a man who can make a movie about a spinning top and make it interesting and actually good, even he was like, "Oh, I can't touch this Robin stuff." Even he said no to Robin.
He did.
So again, I think James Gunn was just like, man, do we want to deal with this like multiple Robin bullshit, or do we just want to go again to the purest form of the idea? Robin is Batman's son. Done.
I think they're gonna say he is the third Robin.
I think so too.
They're gonna be like, no, Dick's Nightwing.
I think. Look, we are sort of as a Nightwing fan, as a Wingnut fan, we are sort of in a Nightwing fever craze right now, which I love because I've said for years, like, Nightwing's my favorite. Nightwing is my favorite comic book character, and I've always thought the DC Comics did him dirty. Yeah. I think we have a Nightwing thing, whether it's a show or a movie, coming. Yeah. It might be a Titans movie. It might be a Titans show. It probably won't be a Titans show. No. But I agree with you. I think they're going to say that there have been other Robins.
I think so. I think the way you're going to get it is in the cave. He's going to see the suit, and we're going to do a comic accurate suit in the cave, like a Jason Todd memorial. It's because we're like, we can't shoot that. We can't put him in the in the old Robin suit with the booties and the shorts. Like, we can't do that, but we can put it up. Yeah, like he did wear that once. I
agree. I think without a doubt. But for the first Robin of this universe. I get it. I hate it, but I get it. Yeah. I knew it was coming. Yeah. Sorry.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
No, Ali Al-Ziadi says, I feel that Pattinson not being the main Batman is a monumental mistake. Feels like, it seems like it's because Reeves wants to make Batman projects without Batman, like Sony, except with more talent. Many people think Pattinson doesn't want to be Batman in a larger universe. However, I saw in an interview, he stated he was open to that possibility when he signed on. I also read that he tried to pitch Superman to Reeves. That's fair. I think, like you said, because it's like, how pissed was he? I assumed, like everybody, that like he was just like, I'm too good for these silly cape movies. I just want to be Batman. But I mean,
I don't know, man.
I love the Batman, but how cool would it have been at the end when he's like on that roof and it's the dawn, and he's saving people? If Superman showed up at the end and said,
I mean, it would have been cool. See, I'm mixed on that movie. I am mixed on that movie. But I think it's more Matt Reeves than Robert, because I'm just thinking, because I know Robert Pattinson's a nerd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there was an interview where he's in some new movie, and like they were talking about in the movie where he was like, well, what villains do you want for the Batman 2? And he says Condiment King. He was like, I want to take a silly villain like Condiment King and legitimize him. Right. And I was like, okay. I think Robert Pattinson would have said yes. I think Matt Reeves was like, no, I don't want to be beholden to your timeline and your slate.
Right. Well, too bad.
Yeah. But there's certain directors like that. I understand. I mean, and we've seen those directors completely fail. Yes. On the Marvel side. Anybody seen a movie called Eternals?
Right. I love it. I think Eternals was a solid flick. I liked Eternals a lot. I think she did a great
job. To disagree, my friend.
Drew Markham would love to see a combination of Birthright and What's So Funny when we get to explore why Clark chooses to save mankind and how he remains relevant. Yeah. I mean, Birthright, people said that like that's what Man of Steel is based off of. I'm like, did you read Birthright? Because that ain't Man of Steel.
No, Birthright I still think you could adapt Birthright and it would be a solid flick.
Birthright is written to be a script. That is it's so written to be a script, it's almost like it was written by Jeff Jones.
It has the perfect way of making Lex Luthor your movie villain, but not in a goofy way where he's just obsessed with land.
Yes. Oh, God. I don't know what that's all about. Eduardo Perez Rubio, on my lunch break. I trust Gunn, but due to Warner Brothers being Warner Brothers, until my butt is in the theater, I don't trust anything DC. Thanks for the great content. Thank you, man. Yeah, I hear you. You're not wrong.
Look, we also there is a big, dangling guillotine over all of this.
Yes, which is called Warner Brothers.
It's called Warner Brothers, or it's called Does Warner Brothers sell off DC? Oh, God. And if they do, this is all gone.
It's all gone, and then you'll see Apple TV movies, or TV shows forever.
We don't know. Like we don't like the dust has not settled on this Warner Brothers merger yet. Like that's the thing.
Which that drives me nuts. The idea that like, well, we have to pay off the merger, and I'm like, why'd you merge?
Yeah, I don't know.
do you feel like some actors for Wonder Woman, or the same? Do you feel like the same actors for Wonder Woman, Shazam, Flash, and Aquaman should continue in their roles, or just like Superman and Batman, have them recast? Complete clean slate. Jason, what do you think?
I think that's the smartest, but I think they're going to keep Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
I think they might keep Gal Gadot.
I think so too.
I personally think they should just clean slate it all.
Same.
I 100% don't. I'll put this out there. I don't think we should release that Flash movie that's coming out this year.
But it's the best superhero movie they've ever seen, Jason.
It stars a convicted criminal. Convicted.
Yeah, like he will be paid for that movie. Yeah.
I don't think in two roles, not one, two.
Yeah.
I do not think the fact. Look, I don't care how bad Batgirl was.
Right.
Put it direct to DVD. Exactly. Put it on HBO Max. It did not star a convicted criminal.
Yeah.
Whatever you think about this movie, and look, I'm excited about seeing Michael Keaton too.
Me too.
The Flash is a convicted criminal. I'm sorry, but there are just some lines where like I can't. That's where the real world we draw the line.
Yeah, you don't get the profit from that by being a movie star anymore. If you
bingo, kick him the frick out the door and say goodbye.
I saw somebody on TikTok actually say something like this, where they were like, apparently one of the executives at Warner Brothers is open to the idea of Ezra Miller continuing.
No,
and I'm like,
no.
That should be grounds for your expulsion.
Again, here's the thing. I've said this and I say this for celebrities all the time.
Yeah.
If it's one incident, I might give you the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
But when it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and grooming as well, woo! Get out the door. I'm done. Here is my request, and I will say before I won't take this anywhere. Here is my request to the nerd community.
Yeah.
Buy a ticket for another movie and sneak into The Flash.
Yes.
Do not buy a ticket for The Flash. There is a comment in the chat, I just saw it, where he says, Ezra is already paid, the rest of the crew is waiting on the profits. That is BS. That shows you do not work in the industry, my friend. Stars are paid after the movie comes out. Most crews only get one paycheck, and that's it. Yeah. Now, other actors will get royalties and whatever. And yes, I understand that there's a lot of things, but like a convicted criminal is The Flash. We should not support this movie.
I agree. But it's a line we can't.
I will get off my soapbox. Look, I'm excited for it as well.
Yeah.
Convicted criminal.
Right. Also, apparently there's a character called Dark Flash. You couldn't have picked any other Flash.
Oh boy, that's gonna be. Also, here's the thing about this movie. Again, with everything we know now about that movie's gonna be a rough watch.
Oh yeah, no,
it's gonna be really rough.
It's gonna be real dumb. Steampunk. I started reading The Authority before Gunn's announcement, but ever since that announcement, it made me want to read it, and I'm loving it so far. Yeah, it's dope.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Jawiin Alam, if Gunn keeps Momoa, Gadot, and in some roles for DCU, but as new actors for Batman and Superman, I think we're going to have the same problem as before, because it's just messy, and rather than get a full reboot. I agree. I think it's too messy. I think this is cool and it's exciting, but like they should have clean slated it. It
really depends on if you care.
Right.
Because we care. Mm-hmm. Because we love this stuff. Everybody watching this video, I guarantee you we care.
Totally.
But does, people that just go see a Batman movie give a damn? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that they care and that they give a damn about any of this community. So I think they just have to be selective about it.
Yeah.
And they have to be very careful. It's like every DC Comics reboot, right? It's like you got to be careful on like how much of the continuity do you want to say is in character and how much is not, Exactly. And because some of those actors, again, like I don't know, a couple of those actors I would hate to lose.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but I'm like, I appreciate, like, I think Gal Gadot does a great job, but I'd be excited to see another Wonder Woman, and I would too. I would too. And I'm okay with that. I think Jason Momoa would rather be Lobo. And we could do without a Aquaman 3. We're okay.
I think that's a crazy fan rumor, by the way. I don't think he's Lobo at all.
I think that... I don't think so.
I don't think he's Lobo.
That's fair.
Because it feels too much like when they were casting Batman v Superman and everybody was like, Bryan Cranston is Lex Luthor. And you were like, well, just because he's another bald actor?
that's
why.
right. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Bryan Cranston didn't run out of the studio screaming his head off, being like, "Yay! I'm finally get to do what I want to do here."
Yeah. No, I don't think. I think what based on Jason Momoa's comments.
Yeah.
I think either they're going to do something else with Jason Momoa, like he is going to play another character,
right?
Or they are going to make Aquaman a bigger part of this than we've ever thought. Like he might be the one they keep.
Yes.
You know, and he's going to be in Brave and the Bold, and he's going to be in, you know, like Superman. Creature Commandos and Superman and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, that'd be fine. He's great.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, but I don't think I don't think he would be super excited that they're like, okay, we're going to end your movie trilogy and we're going to cast you as a brand new character that might show up every once in a while.
I mean, like, I'm thinking, if he does, he'll be the he'll bump into Supergirl in space. He'll be the antagonist in the Superman Legacy movie.
Yeah,
and he'll get a Lobo movie that costs $80 million. You know, like that's
maybe
okay with me.
Maybe I don't know. Do you think they'll actually make a Lobo movie?
Yes, I think there are I think there are enough people in Hollywood who like Lobo a lot.
I mean, I do agree with your thing that there's probably a strong chance that Lobo might show up in the Supergirl movie, but like,
right?
I think Lobo would be a TV show. It would be like a Peacemaker show.
Oh yeah, I mean that'd be the way that I think that's how they would do it. But I think that I would make a Lobo movie. I think it's like Lobo's more palatable. I think for 90 minutes than
Keith Giffen's pocketbook would love you for that.
Oh, he would. Yeah. Erwin Rosales says, "I am legit excited for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I hopefully now we'll get a proper hardcover release. Specifically now that it's sold out on Amazon." Agreed.
That's true.
That book. Bill Kazevely, amazing. The Captain Coon, my hope with some of these is that they get comic creators to do some of the work on them, if only so they get better paid for what they normally get. Yeah, that'd be great. I know at least one of them is going to be getting paid movie money for stuff. I would like to see them go like, oh, we got a script doctor for this. It's Peter J. Tomasi. Or like, oh, we got Mark Waid to do like, you know, the like, come on.
I have a feeling Tom might pull some of the other fellows in. And ladies in or stuff like that.
I think there's no way he could go to a summit again without like getting like the stink eye. If he
I mean, here's the question on this, right? Because like we've kind of seen this happen before. I think we saw this happen kind of with Matt Fraction.
Yes.
It's like, do we think Tom's comic work is basically after well he's probably a little bit ahead of us, right? Like he's always like works ahead, so like we might see Tom King series for all of like this year and maybe a little bit of 2024, but like in like the middle half and back half of 2024 is like there are no Tom King comic books because he's busy with Supergirl and this was the period that he was working on all the movie stuff. I think he is going to disappear in 2024. But I think he loves comics enough, and I think he's one of those known. He's one of those few now that's like a known quantity that goes, I got a mini, and then anyone was like, oh, thank you, and they just do it. You know? Yeah. Like, I think he can. I hope so. I mean, he's a great writer. He's a great dude. Yeah. More for him. Right. I want Human Target, but like again, Human Target could be an easy movie or TV series. That'd be amazing. Human Target would be a fantastic. It's already been a television series, but it'd be an even better television series now. I agree. Max M. Gunn makes good films, but if you look at his superhero projects, there's a lot of recreating characters to fit his story. I expect good things from him. Surely with a strong writer's room, he will keep the care of the characters. I hope you're right. I got nothing to say about that. I mean, that's a valid statement. Exactly. Deadpool's intern says, I feel like the Lanterns show Stephanie about the murder of Orion. Also, Damien's mother, Effin Wayne. Fair enough, I guess. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if it was like the setup to Final Crisis. If they were looking for the murder of Orion, I don't know if I want. If you're going to introduce Orion, he shouldn't be a corpse to this new universe. Let's throw this out here. Okay, so we know they're going to build to something. Yes. Right. We're taking the Marvel method. Like we are building to a Thanos-like thing. Yes. Okay. I think we're taking Darkseid off the table. We have to. Well, they killed the New Gods movie because of it. Yes, and then also I think he's just too close to Thanos. So if you had your druthers, Sal, where are they going? What's the big crescendo? I mean, if it's a universe-spanning big deal, I mean, it could be Brainiac.
That's easy enough to do, but he's also like such a Superman villain. I feel like I don't want to see Batman fight Brainiac.
Yeah.
And then it's like, who's a big universe spanning villain? I mean, it's tough because Darkseid is such an easy pick.
I have an off the wall pitch here.
Yeah.
And I think it fits into everything we've seen so far, but a lot of people are not going to be on board for it.
Yeah.
I think it's Blackest Night.
I love it.
Because if Swamp Thing sets up the undead, we get a little bit of Necron in there and stuff like that. We have lanterns. Maybe the lanterns mystery is about a new ring or whatever.
Yes, I love that.
And then along this phase, let's actually have some stakes. Let's actually kill off some people.
Yeah.
And then, maybe in this universe, the Batman, Jason Todd, is dead. He's not Red Hood yet. And then Blackest Night is the thing that resurrects him. So we could have all these characters that we've seen over these last 10 movies suddenly show up as bad guys. And we're fighting basically the embodiment of death. It would be something that would feel really different from Marvel.
Yeah.
And I think you could drop into all the movies. I think you could connect it with all the movies.
Yeah. I was worried you're gonna say like something like Trigon, and I'm like,
oh no. I just know like Blackest Night is not everybody's favorite thing because it's very much a lantern event,
It is, but you could make it a whole universe thing. I could still
yeah. That would be my because every other like Darkseid, it's too much like Thanos.
Yeah.
You can't do time travel now because that's going to be whatever they're doing with Kang.
Right. Right.
And then
Necron's a pretty good one because you can't do like Eclipso. That'd be kind of
I mean, I don't know what you do with Eclipso, and I just also think I just think like an Injustice Society is not going to be big enough.
Right, like you couldn't do like the Crime Syndicate or something.
Yeah, you could do that as a one-off movie, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to do a whole damn initiative.
And let's be honest here, they will 100% do Crisis on Infinite Earths somehow.
Yeah, the Anti-Monitor is going to be on screen,
but hopefully that's down the line. Kind of like how I think. My hope for Marvel is that I hope that Kang, and whenever we're done with that thing, that sets up Galactus.
I think it does. I think Kang is a Temple Guardian. He's pretty cool, but he's gonna pave the way for something.
Yeah, and we're gonna spend a lot of time with him, and he's gonna screw some stuff up and whatever. But like, he's gonna do the thing that like unlocks Galactus from the other universe.
Exactly. That's fine with me. My concern is it's gonna be the Batman who laughs.
Oh.
Right? Because it's too marketable. He makes money every time he shows up. The Dark Multiverse is an easy idea to suggest.
I know I've said this on ComicPop before. I just want the Joker to go into a box and go away for like 10 years. I'm so over the frickin' Joker. And I'm even more over Batman as the Joker. Yeah. You're probably right. You probably they're gonna do Dark Knight's Metal or some version of that.
Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, I hope not.
Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. If Bruce has a 12-year-old son, I know his great name. It'll be weird if Clark is super young, as in canon Super Sons would be great, and in canon Super Sons movie would be great. Also, I hope we get a new Diana. I don't think we're gonna get a new Diana. I would like that, but I don't think we're gonna get it.
Do you think they're gonna keep Gal?
Yeah, I do.
I think so too. I think they're gonna keep her.
Yeah,
because I think they feel, the way that Marvel feels about Charlie Cox.
Yes,
where they're just like, man, they're too good to like throw them away, and she is a really good Wonder Woman.
Yes, that's true, and I'm sure they're like, we don't. I mean, like, there's something weird with Henry Cavill. Either like they know something about him that the whole world doesn't, or he just shit in someone's cereal because they're just like, screw Henry Cavill, like big time. They're like, I don't care. But like, I think they're like, if Marvel gets Gal Gadot, we're sunk. You know what I mean? Like, like,
well, I mean, that's why like if I was Henry's agent, or if I was Kevin Feige, I would try to be like, where can we put him in the Marvel universe?
Absolutely. You're Captain Britain now. Story.
Or you're Hyperion, or like
Hyperion,
or you're Wonder Man. I know we already cast Wonder Man as Yahya Abdul-Mateen, but still, like, find a place for him.
Find a spot for him and put him in and lock him in, because he'll do it.
And then just do a lot of Superman jokes in there.
Exactly. Gavin Stott, Affleck would be perfect for Human Target. Yes. 100%. Andrew Torres, can we get a Supermax? Can we get that Supermax movie, please? Agreed.
I wish they made it. It was a really good script.
Michael Loco, my pitch for the DCU was that it'd be crisis-based. This way, it's like an event that we lead up to every time, but with different themes. You can also recast and allow different interpretations of characters. I think that as much as they did it in the show and it was like palatable, it also was. I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard it was a huge failure, like viewership.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I honestly don't know that.
Yeah,
I thought they did the.
Know that confirmed, but yeah,
I thought they did the best they could. I do know that it maxed all the crews out. Like the crews of all 5 of those shows were like, we can't do another crossover next year because we are tired. We still because you're asking every crew of every show to work double duty and to work weekends for a month,
right?
And you're asking all the actors to do that and all the So like I think it broke their production model and they were like, whew, we gotta like. I think that's 100% the reason why Superman and Lois was like, we are not connected.
Yeah, it's another universe.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting again because again, my problem with a crisis in this slate is that like. It's hard to do a crisis when the universe is new.
Yes, and also like we're already rebooting. We don't need to be like building towards more reboots.
Well, it's funny because I had heard some rumors around town that this Flashpoint slate that's already been canceled, that was going to lead to a crisis down the line. That like Flashpoint was, and I've already heard it's been like cut out of that movie, but apparently like I heard that there were like mentions of like. Crisis on Infinite Earth type things in the Flashpoint movie because they were hoping to like do that like 5 or 6 years down the line.
Yeah, I think Flashpoint or the Flash movie is going to be the like separation point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be like they're gonna have him running the thing and they're like new universe.
Mm-hmm.
Anarchic Arachnid. Outside of Lanterns, I'm uninterested in this slate with maybe Swamp Thing. It's weird. I mean, yeah, and I think we hit the nail on the head with that.
Hey. Here's the thing. We talked about this for years.
Yeah.
Opinions aren't wrong.
No.
If you're not excited,
fair. Yeah.
I'm not excited about everything on the slate. I think there are some interesting things in here. I don't think it's a home run, but I also didn't think Marvel Studios slate out the gate was a home run either. So
no, that's true. That's true.
And they proved me wrong.
They did. Sam Shugart. Seems like DC is dividing the fans. Having only Batman and Superman's faces only be different is very odd. I feel like doing that and keeping Pattinson validates the Snyder cultists. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, we also learned as well that the Snyder cultists were a lot of bots. So
yeah. I mean, there are people behind it, but I don't think that they've. What they would benefit from is reading a single comic book. The infamous Mike Manhattan. I'd like to see Ron Howard or Joseph Kosinski from Tron 2 and Top Gun 2 direct Superman. I like that. I picked as well. And Alex Garland choices. Do something. Alex Garland can stay away from everything.
Well, again, it seems like it's going to be James Mangold.
Fine by me.
Ron Howard's an interesting choice for Superman.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I think maybe one of the last times I was on here, there were all those rumors that like Spielberg might direct Superman.
Yes.
And I remember not hating that idea.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Superman is like a Jewish superhero essentially, and Spielberg would he loves American iconography. What's more American iconography than Superman?
Again, I see no way unless he just gets too slammed. I see no way James Gunn doesn't direct this movie.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Well, the studio's pushing him. I think they want him to do it.
Yeah, and also it's the first movie out the gate. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like unless his executive duties just like become way too busy and he might be like, I can't do both.
I mean, it could be he doesn't want to do it and he just says that. He just makes himself so busy that he's like, we got to pick somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly hope he picks one of the other movies.
Yeah.
But look, whoever takes this movie on has a hell of a job because not only do they have to make a good Superman movie, which is more difficult than it sounds, but they are also going to have to clear the palette of all the other stuff.
Yes, they are.
It's the same thankless task that J.J. Abrams had for the Star Trek movie in 2009 and for Force Awakens.
Yes. Yeah, and he
did it both times. I thought he did it both times.
I think I like the music in Star Trek. Anyway, Tevye says, question, are DC animated shows and movies also dead? That I can't tell you.
I don't think the animated movies are dead because they're their own thing.
Yeah, like you saw, all the announcements are for HBO Max projects. That I think is under DC Studios' purview.
That's what I think it is. I think that's the difference. But these are still like direct to DVD, even though they show up. And as far as I know, they're still like solvent. They're still like still making enough money and stuff like that. I mean, I just got the Legion one.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my table.
Nice.
So.
Taylor Petcher, I like this one. Since they're doing Authority, are they going to do Wildcats and Stormwatch or Planetary? Maybe.
Planetary would make a fantastic television show.
Yes.
Wildcats.
No.
I don't know. Wildcats is so hard. I'm a huge Wildcats fan. I mean, I have a grifter up there underneath Galactus. The more I think about it, I kind of think that Wildcats might have just been that right thing at 92.
Yep.
At the right time, and I think we just can't recapture it.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. Having read the new Wildcats series, I'm like, we're done. It's just it's a relic. It doesn't work. It doesn't translate. It's like trying to do Gen 13 today. Like it's just you're not.
Oh, it would not. It would not translate. Yeah, I don't think Wildcat. What was the other one he said? Wildcats, Planetary,
Stormwatch.
Stormwatch could work.
Yeah,
I think in this universe, yeah, but you have to be careful because otherwise it'll step on the toes of the Suicide Squad and Authority stuff.
Exactly. Plus, like you got to be careful about all those teams that all kind of like look the same or have.
Well, and Authority is a Stormwatch spinoff.
Exactly.
If we remember, so
yeah. Aki Dave, I wonder if they're going to do Damien's origin. Yep, no question about that.
100%. Yeah.
And Nathan Roberts, I hope the creators of these characters get paid.
Probably not.
They're DC, so they'll get paid better than Marvel.
They will. They'll get a check, and that'll be it.
Yes, and it'll be 1,000% higher than Jim Starlin got for him.
You know, it's funny. I can't remember. Oh God, I can't remember who the guy that created Killer Croc is.
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it real quick. But I remember I interviewed him for DC All Access, and it was Jerry Conway.
Oh.
It was Jerry Conway, and I remember asking him about, like, oh, do you still get like royalties for the comic books and stuff like that? And he was like, oh, not really. He was like, the biggest check I got was from the Arkham games. Yeah. Because he created another character that I think showed up in one of the Christopher Nolan movies, and he was like, I didn't get nothing for that, but he was like, that Killer Croc check.
Nice. Good for him. I'm glad Jerry Conway's getting paid.
Yeah.
For anything. Captain Coon, I'm assuming that Damien will be first extended Family Bat member to be introduced to the audience, but there will be other Robins. Yes, we mentioned that. Hey You with the Face, with Gunn in charge, we might get Aztec series or a Grifter movie? Nope.
Oh, man. I still have my Aztec trade. Aztec, God, what
is his name? He's like the perfect man or like the...
Oh, it's like he has like a tagline where it's like Aztec, the immortal man or something like that. But he's Grant Morrison and Mark Miller's team up when they used to write together. What is his tagline? I'm looking. The Ultimate Man.
Ultimate Man. Thank you.
That series is great. Mm-hmm. It's really good. I will never give up that trade because I know they'll never reprint it. He was great in JLA. I doubt it. Yeah. But like that would make an interesting television show.
I could see Grifter showing up in something. Because they love Grifter.
Well, he's such an easy character because he's just a grifter. So he's a really easy character to like transport. I could see the Halo Corporation from Wildcats showing up.
Yeah.
And maybe Spartan being like the CEO.
Or Marlo. I could see Marlo being.
Yeah, I could see that, but I don't think we'll see a Wildcats team.
I think that if you see any Wildcats references and like Halo and so forth, it'll be in the Waller show.
Yeah, I could see that. See that.
Just little cameos and references.
Mm-hmm.
Cam, if Hal and John are investigating an Earth-based threat, have it be the center from New Frontier, and then use that to start the JLA. Interesting.
Sure.
New Frontier is a great, piece of work. Sonia Dor Suburbana. I find it super cute that we're all assuming that Batman from Brave and the Bold will be Bruce and not Dick Grayson. I think it's cute because they said it's his son.
I will say this. I did laugh in that official DC video when the cover they showed was Dick.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Where it like literally, as James Gunn said the line, and a father and son, and I was like, well, that's Dick Grayson.
Well, that's not really that, but yeah.
But I get that cover is awesome, which is why you wanted to use it.
Well, and I'm glad they used comic book covers. Like, good for them on using
yes.
comic book covers.
Well, they don't have, dude. None of these have production art.
No, that's true.
So it's interesting. So I'll let you, like, in production stuff. Usually, what happens is, like, even before the script is written, if the studio, like, if the writer makes a pitch, and the studio's like, we like it. Before the writer has even read the script, they will usually hire a production designer, art designer. It just depends on the different title. Yeah. For one of the shows I worked on, we had like PDF documents of like hundreds of pages of just like all kinds of art.
Gotcha.
Because they just let
could or could not be in the movie.
Yeah, that's why we get all those Marvel concept books, because they'll basically, like, they'll send like the pitch, which is like a rough outline of the entire story, and a lot of times they'll just be like, "Hey, artists, go crazy." And they do that because, like, a lot of times that will inspire the writer to be like, well, I never thought about putting that scene in an outer moon, or, oh, I never thought about having Doctor Doom be in that scene, you know? So that's why you'll see stuff in the concept art that's like, doesn't match the movie at all. And I believe that, I don't know for certain, but I've always thought that if you've ever watched like all the, behind the scenes documentaries of the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why those movies might be terrible is because you'll see scenes where, for a lot of times while George was writing the movie, he just had artists draw stuff. And he had this little marker, and they would put all their pictures on the wall, and he would just like, he would be like, that one, that one, that one.
Yeah.
And then he wrote the movie based on those. And you're like, oh, that explains a lot. But yeah, so like, there's probably concept art being made of all this stuff right now.
Yeah.
Because of the announcements. But beyond that, for that video, all they had was comic book covers.
All they had was comic book covers.
Yeah.
Revolutionary Dragon, the leader of the Authority, should die in the movie, and then at the post-credit scene, Manchester Black shows up. I love that idea, just to put in Manchester Black. He'd be a fun Superman villain to put in there.
I do like your pitch of Superman versus the Authority. I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you. Shockvox. Flash coming out is insane, made worse by the fact that it was bad casting. By the way, why did the DCU hate blonde characters? There's something weird about that I don't want to get into, but they have an issue with redheads especially, where they're like, oh, we can change that. If it's a redhead, we can change that.
Is that a thing? Isn't that a thing? Well, Matt Murdock's a brunette, too.
Yeah, that's Marvel. Marvel doesn't care about that.
Oh, okay,
Marvel is like, no, Marvel, half the...
What other redheads have gotten screwed over by DC?
Well, not screwed over, but they've been changed. Wally West was changed.
Of
Gordon
course.
has been changed a number of times.
Okay.
There are a couple of them I'm trying to remember now, but
all right.
are drawing a blank.
I just was unaware of I was unaware of this conspiracy. So
yeah, it's a conspiracy. I'll tell you. Static Nova. Unfortunately, I'm at work, but I can't wait to watch the repeat. Thanks a lot, Static.
Well, hello, Static Nova. I hope your work didn't suck too much.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you. Yeah, Captain. Pober, they made and released a Black Adam movie last year. I bet that Lobo movie is already greenlit. That is nothing. One has nothing to do with the other. That Black Adam movie is happening, whether Warner Brothers and DC had any interest in it or not.
Here's the actual reality.
Yeah.
All of these movies, with the exception of Superman Legacy, might not be greenlit because what greenlit means, what it actually means in a real production sense, is that is when business affairs, every studio has a business affairs office. They are the ones that cut the checks.
Yes.
So when Warner Brothers Business Affairs sends over the document of, we're giving you this much money, that is the green light to start production.
Okay.
So to be honest with you, even Superman Legacy might not, at the strictest sense, be green lit at this moment.
Yeah, they have to like convince them this is how much money we need for this project. And they
usually greenlit means we're starting to build the sets.
Yes. Okay.
So
see, yeah, because I'm familiar with like them being like, well, we have a production office, like Ghost Corps from Sony.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think any of them have a production office at this point. I think James Gunn has an office.
Yeah, that's it, and he has to share it with Peter Safran.
And Peter Safran, they're on top of each other's desks, like, oh god, we got to get another office.
Yeah, they're in a broom closet. They're like, we don't have any room.
Yeah.
Raj Patel coming in late, but I hope the New Gods movie comes to fruition at some point with Gunn. Yeah, I hope they make that movie. I'd like to see what Tom King wrote.
I'd love to see a New Gods something.
Yeah,
I think it would be an interesting television show.
I agree.
You
Nathan
know,
Roberts,
I would love to see them just adapt Mr. Miracle, Tom's Mr.
Oh
Miracle.
God, I think if Supergirl works, we're getting it all.
Oh, you think so?
We're getting Gotham City Year One. We're getting Human Target. We're getting Mr. Miracle. We're getting Sheriff of Babylon. Like we're getting it all.
Cool. I'd be down.
Which is fine with me.
Yeah, they're all good stuff.
Spielberg was supposed to make the Black Hawk movie. Yes, they announced
That's what it
that a
was.
while back.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
that movie's dead.
Yeah,
movie's dead.
That's been dead. That's buried.
Yeah.
The MDED. I'm interested in the games given development times. Oh yeah, the games. Yeah, like the games they announced that they're gonna make as well.
They announced games as well.
Not in this list, but they're mentioning that games are part of the plan, and that like if we cast a person in this, they're gonna play that character in the game.
Because I know the Suicide Squad game is supposed to come out this year. I guess
it is, yeah. And they're hiding all the screenshots from the behind the scenes because it's playing like the Avengers game, and they're like, oh no.
Oh, you mean like so people are playing it right now, and they're like, this game sucks.
Yeah, either it's like developers or something like that. But like there were a couple of screenshots.
That's too bad.
From, like, the menu. Yeah, I know.
I'll be honest. I have not played Gotham Knights because I don't have PlayStation 5. Have you played it?
No, my wife did. She liked it.
Okay, I've heard mixed things. Which
me too.
All right.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, oh, you like it? She's like, it's fun. You know, it's not
all right,
great.
Well, that's fine.
You know.
Yeah.
Junior Gomez, why do they still do DVDs? I thought Discovery tried to save money. Also, my sister's 8 and she likes Batgirls and Stargirl. Any recommendations for comics?
Oh, well, you probably have. Do you have a good recommendation for Stargirl?
Not for. Well, I mean, I guess just her book, like her and what's his name? I keep wanting to call him
Stripe.
Stripe. Yeah,
yeah.
Star and Stripe.
Yeah, Batgirl to me, the best Batgirl story is Batgirl Year One.
Yeah,
and they reprinted it recently with Robin Year One, which was made by the same creative team. Those are both great books. So they're perfectly all ages. It's perfect for your daughter.
Yeah,
and stuff. What was the other part of the question?
He thought, well, why do they make DVDs still?
Because they sell.
Yeah,
because they sell. That's it's all money, man. It's like go look at a Walmart.
Yeah,
there's still DVDs there.
That being said, I did notice that Target just like has basically removed the movie section and replaced it with like little kiosks. Apropos, by the way, really quick, give your sister Gotham Academy.
Oh, it's a good choice. Yeah. It's a good choice.
Just some guy with a mustache. Can't believe we're getting 2 Green Lantern series too. Like one True Detectives and one about time travel. That's rad. No, we're only getting the one.
We're only getting the True Detective one. I don't know where the time travel.
The other one's canceled.
Yeah.
Joanne Fincher, does Gunn have the pull to introduce milestone characters? Great question. I have no idea. I hope so. My guess is no. It's typically no.
My guess is no. Fun fact, we just did Icon this week on Geek History Lesson because this week they released the giant milestone compendium, Volume 2, which I beg everyone on this stream to please go buy. Because they put Superman on the cover of this one.
Yeah, they did.
And that makes me worry that these are not selling well. And I think they could do it in 4 volumes. And all of Milestone has never been collected.
Yeah.
And I've been buying them because I'm like, this will be the only time they ever reprint them all. Exactly. And I have 1 and 2. So please, they are great. If you've never read Milestone's comics, they still to this day They are perfect. There's some slang terms in there from the 90s that don't hold up, especially in Static. But Icon is still to this day like one of the best Superman stories ever written.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Michael Edwards, I hope DC timeline doesn't end up like X-Men. Me too.
Where we just keep ignoring the previous movie.
Yeah, just whatever. Just use the same actors and whatever.
Yes, we did this thing in the 1970s. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll never reference it, and it'll never inform anything we did.
Yes, the same actor will play Charles Xavier from 20 to 65.
Yeah. Oof. Taylor Pester, could Waller be setting up Checkmate or other organizations? I'd love Checkmate. Yeah, I mean, definitely. You're going to hear names like that, definitely.
Yeah.
King's Court podcast. How do you feel about Damian being in the Robin they went with? I'm depressed because I think my dream of a new Teen Titans franchise is over. No, I think that you'll see Titans one day. Just it won't be Damian.
I think that I think there's gonna be. I think they're gonna do old Titans. I don't think they're gonna do. I don't think they want to step on the toe of Teen Titans Go.
Yes.
Which is super still to this day popular.
Yeah, it's on the rollout. It's an Elseworlds property now. Like they're never gonna stop making it.
Teen Titans Go, the movie, is amazing.
Fun. I love it.
It's so good.
Yeah, yeah. Cat Lawyer, what do you want for Wonder Woman and Trinity? I don't know about Trinity, but I don't really have a pitch for Wonder Woman, really. Like, I just want them to get it right, you know?
I would be fine with a movie of the three of them called Trinity.
Yes.
I'd be down for that. Right is such a weird term. Wonder Woman's such a difficult character. I would love to see a Wonder Woman movie that's like the George Perez run.
Yeah.
Because it's so uplifting and it's very heartfelt and it's magical. Right. And the default is just to make her badass. And I want to see a magical Wonder Woman.
Yeah, give her a sword. Make her kill people. It's awesome.
Well, we keep making her bloodier and bloodier. And you're like, man, DC is... When they say gods, it's about, like, uplifting us.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to go backwards and just go from the bottom here. The infamous Mike Manhattan. What's wrong with Alex Garland? He made Dread 3D. I was thinking of the guys from Star Trek, not him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
B Black, not sure if you answered this, but are you both fans of Gods and Monsters, the series? I kind of like their Mexican spin on Superman.
That was the direct-to-DVD movie.
Yeah, I never.
Dude, it's great. Have you seen it? Have you read it? Have you watched it?
I have the comic book, but I've never watched it.
Oh, watch it. It is like a fun Elseworlds Justice League story.
I will.
Yep.
I have the Blu-ray. I gotta watch it at some point.
Oh, it's like one of the last ones that Bruce Timm like actively was involved with.
Yeah.
And they animate it in those styles. It's great. It's like the Wonder Woman is Barda.
Yeah.
The Batman is Kirk Langstrom.
Oh, cool.
And then the Superman is Zod, but Zod is the only one that made it to Earth, and he made it to Earth as a baby, but he landed in Mexico.
I love it. Okay.
You know, so it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ Deacon, hey guys, I'm turning in late, but I was really interested in the slate. I think it offers great selection of characters, but will hold my breath to see the physical trailers.
And you are right on the money and a well-reasoned statement.
Exactly. That's completely fair.
Yep.
I think we're good. We've just caught up with everything. So I will leave you with this. You need to check out Jason Inman's Kickstarter project for Super Best Friend. It's the finale. Yes, it is. You get 136 pages if you buy all 3 issues. That's awesome. It's really fun. Again, the first 2 issues are here. We have all kinds of variant covers. I have Zoom calls on there. You can purchase a tier as a Zoom call with me, and we can literally talk about your writing, your podcast. We can talk 30 more minutes about the DC slate if you want to. It is whatever you want to talk about. That's right. We can talk about of information. He's a resource to be leaned on. Trust me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't lean on you very often, but I will say. No, yeah. I got to lean on you more, man. You're the one that's like popping, dude. But yes, come join if you've enjoyed anything I've said, if you enjoy good superhero fun, come over to superbestfriendcomic.com. We'll be going until the 24th. And then after that, I don't know how you're going to be able to get this series, but this is like the only way you can get these covers and these certain things. And come join us. Check them out. You can click the link in the comments down below if you're watching this after the fact, or if you're watching this live, check out the pinned comment at the top of the chat, and you'll be able to check that out. I think it's also in the comments, but in the description. But those days are over. Nobody goes to the description anymore. Oh, is that true? Nobody looks at the description anymore? Nobody clicks the description because you got to click. Oh. Then why do we have to fill it out? Right. I don't know. Well, because YouTube won't let you upload a video unless you put something in there. You got to put something there. Yeah, I know. It's got to be something. But I've seen 60 million viewed YouTube videos that have the word boobs or something in there. It's just nothing. It's just a filler. All right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Tags. Cool. Good for thee, not for me. But yep. Anyway, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us, Jason. Thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks for having me, man. It was always a pleasure. Same, and we will see you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and get more shows like this. It's not every day we get Jason, but I promise you, it's at least. You get cooler people like Joshua Williamson. So. He'll be back this month, so check that out as well. But be here or be square. I don't know. I'll see you guys later. Bye. And we're.